told me he had to stop every single ounce of his body from walking over and not just telling the woman about who his dad was, but he found out from his sister that that was actually his dad's kid. And I never found out the end of that story, but that was the moment when I actually found out about his whole past. And it's so... Have a good night, Rujala. I'm sorry. Hopefully you catch the rest of this later. Yeah, thanks for joining the stream. But I never got a resolve to that, what happened, but...
Thank you so much.
Thank you. But it's one of those stories where, like, as he basically told me about his past, like, you could just... I have never personally, at least not to that level, have had that level of PTSD. But, like, it I don't want to say it humbled me as much as I've never empathized more with someone. Which kind of, it's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, like, but I can't. Thinking, like, people who've gone through that is like, and to be able to keep continuing, there's a lot of strength and a lot of courage. Like, it's not easy to be able to put up with, like, that kind of level of trauma and be able to walk away. Right? Not everyone would be able to do that. Some people would freak out and like lose their mind because of all the pain they've gone through, and they wouldn't necessarily be wrong to want to express that feeling, because of it. You need to have some kind of closure, and at the same time, it wouldn't exactly be right, depending on the timing wise, because that person has gone through their pain, and maybe they're trying to fix things for the better. Maybe they're just trying to have a life and not be that person they once were that hurt all these people that they were. Maybe, they're trying to make a better future and atone for the problems that they've created. And by bringing up that moment that maybe that their lowest point could bring that back on them, and it could even push them back into it. And not everyone knows, right? It's hard. That's the hardest part about it, of kind of being empathetic on certain things, is you have to be able to open to everyone's pain, not just yours. And even the people that sometimes are the people that cause the pain, sometimes the most pained people. And it's really hard to open up to that and to be willing to accept that kind of level of forgiveness of, like, I know you fucking hurt me, on a deep level.
Most people want vengeance.
Right?
And it's so hard, even as an outsider, to deny those people that feeling, because they have every right to feel that way.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
how, like, it's that fine line of, you have every right to feel that this person deserves vengeance upon them. But at the same time, you have to be able to, you need to show the high road, which hurts more. Yeah. Because you're showing mercy where they didn't. And that hurts. And no one wants to admit that hurts. But everyone knows it hurts.
Yeah. It's never easy to walk away from those that have hurt you. It's really, really hard. But it does show the amount of level that you've grown, the kind of person that you are as a character. You aren't the product of their misdeeds and their abuse just because they've hurt you so much.
No, but you are the victim, and that doesn't take away from it.
No, exactly. But that's what I mean, is that because you've been through it, you don't take that negative energy on yourself to then put that out to others, right? You need to heal just as other people do too. And it's taking that time to be with people that care about you, your family, your friends, having that space, having that ability to have closure.
So, speaking about, levels of trauma that can never be repaired and destroying entire lives and families and entire homesteads, Sarah, you're ingrained with the church.
What? What are you getting at here?
Bad segues are bad. You haven't said much.
That's true.
I can imagine you sitting
there
in your hammock in the middle of the forest, swinging away in your stress-free life.
Listening to the talk show.
Watching fireworks. They're over now, I think, but yeah. As far as relationships go, I've been really, really so lucky. I've only been in one relationship, and you all know exactly who with, and we have a great relationship. We were young and dumb when we got married because we were 19, but we've really grown together, and it's great.
Can we take a second and just highlight, as one of your oldest friends here, I could say, you guys do have a great relationship. It's actually almost ridiculous. You grow up thinking that the get married at 18, 19 is the dumbest thing. It's all you're told throughout junior high and high school. But considering you guys are 8 years going and you guys basically beat the 7-year itch no problem, good on ya. Good job breaking the curve. But please continue.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, we're really happy. It's going great. But anyways, with the church, how about school? I went to Christian schools growing up. Sometimes it was really good, and at one point it was really, really bad. I went to the same school from grades 1 to 10, and after grade 10, we left without telling anyone that we were leaving or where we were going. Because that year was horrific. A lot of things happened, but the biggest one for me was that the school didn't do sex ed at all. Never, ever, ever once. Apparently, they even skipped the sections in grade 12 biology that have to do with human reproduction, which you need to know to pass your diploma exam, so I have no idea how they got away with that. Which meant that all of us were just kind of clueless. Some people knew a lot. Some people knew nothing. I was one of the ones who knew nothing.
What is it?
Because
Sorry. Please.
What?
The first thing I think of is Monty Python and Meaning of Life. Please continue.
Oh, the first time I got my period, I thought I was dying because I didn't know what it was. I just thought, oh, this is it. My life's over. Anyways. When I was in grade 10, the guys in my class started making sex jokes constantly. And they started as jokes, and they just grew and grew until I was legitimately feeling threatened by the boys in my class. And I went and I actually got really courageous, and I went and I talked to the principal and tried to tell him about it. But because I'd never learned anything, I had no words with which to explain what was happening. I couldn't explain the things I was feeling to him just because I didn't know how. And he did get the gist of it, at least, and he said it was a really serious problem and that they would look into it, and then they did nothing. And it was just really bad. I was trapped there. This all went down in January. And the way that our years are cut apart here in schools is usually we have one semester from September to January and then another one from February to June. So had I gone to any other school, I would have been able to just switch schools in the middle of the year there, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But this school did things completely differently than anywhere else, so there was nowhere else I could go to, and I was trapped in this situation where I just felt scared.
Yeah, uncomfortable and stuck with people that you couldn't trust and making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I still have nightmares of that sometimes.
School's
I had to
not
go
a fun
back
time
there
for a lot
last
of people.
week. I had to go back to that school last week to try to get kids to come work at the camp, and it was scary.
Yeah, probably pretty awkward.
Yeah, had to set everything up with the principal who did nothing.
I had, he's still there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. I have a kind of a different kind of story like that. When I was in high school, I think I might have told this one before, but whatever. I had a math teacher. Creepy looking guy. But, generally nice guy. And it was coming up to Halloween. And it was 2007. So Rob Zombie was playing with, I forget who the before band was, at the Big Four. And one day, because I kind of I don't give a fuck about math, so I would fall asleep during math class. Sorry, Sarah.
Me too.
Sorry, Sarah, I know you're a math teacher, but I sleep through math. Anyway.
How could you?
So, one day, I slept in a little bit, so I'm waking up. It's like 2 minutes after class ended. And I'm just getting up and putting my books away. And I see there's these girls that we call the triplets at my high school because they were triplets. I'm not going to say their names, but they were triplets.
What a reason!
But they're also metalheads, all three of them. And he went up to one of them that was in the class with me. He's like, "Hey, I have an extra ticket to Rob Zombie. You want to go?" And all this stuff. And he's like, "You don't have to go with me, but I just have an extra ticket and I'll be there." And just super awkward to this 17-year-old girl. And I have her number, so I quickly text her and say, "Take the ticket." So she does, and I get up and walk out of class. I don't make eye contact. As soon as we leave, I was like, "Give me the ticket, I'll take it." So I take the ticket. And all week, Mr. Hutchins, I almost said his name. Ooh, that was bad. I almost said his full name. The whole week, this teacher... super happy because this triplet kept acting like she was going to go and she was going to see him there. Okay? So Friday night comes, show comes. I go to this show, and there is this math teacher in all black goth uniform, red lipstick, and he's on the edge of the pit, and he's looking around for, I'm assuming, this 17-year-old girl that he invited to this rock concert.
Ooh.
I had found,
Wow.
I knew that a couple of my friends were there, so I met with a couple of my friends.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I didn't do it, but when Mr. Hutch almost did it again. Oh, caught myself twice there. Twice there, I almost fucked up. When Mr. What's-His-Stuff came back to school on Monday, he had a bruise the size of...
teacher?
Yeah, he had a bruise the size of half his face.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We had magically pushed him into the pit where we had spread the rumor about this guy, maybe him, who was here looking for a 17-year-old girl.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was a little over the line. I'll admit. I was 17. I was a little over the line. At the same time.
How old was the teacher?
He was way over the...
If he was pretty old, he was still pretty over
33.
the line. If he was still, if he was pretty old,
he was 33.
Like, yeah, that's pretty scummy still.
Yeah.
I was saying, maybe if he was like a 23-year-old.
It's why I can tell the story and I don't feel bad, but at the same time.
Yeah, no, it is. He's a teacher. You should know.
Regardless of age.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I like I said, I wasn't the one who leaped across the pit and Superman punched him in the face. I could definitely say that with full honesty.
That is super illegal.
I know it is. Wait, you mean, yeah, of course, yeah. That's what we're talking about. Him giving the ticket to the kid. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, no.
Super illegal.
What he was doing was super illegal.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
He could have lost his teaching license over that very easily.
No, yeah, he's lucky he came to school with just a black eye or like a broken nose or.
Honestly, that's getting off easy.
I've had a pretty good record with fighting abuse. I mean, I've definitely told the story about the time I took a bunch of my buddies to my sister's junior high to not beat up or anything, but just catch this bully who was bullying my sister to tears and just tell him to fuck off. I just did it with like the 4 scariest guys I knew. It was perfect. I mean, I think I've told the story before, right? Yeah.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. The 2-second story, bully was calling my sister a bunch of really dirty racist things. I show up at the junior high. She walks... I'll at least tell this part. She walks out, and she's crying because this stupid bully is teasing her and sees me and my friends, looks at me dead-eyed, and turns to her bully and tells her bully to run. I will never forget that. Completely stops crying, turns to her bully and says, "You need to run now." And before that little fuck could realize what was going on, I had just grabbed him by the shoulder and said, "We're going to go for a little bit of a walk." And all I did was tell him, "Don't fuck with my little sister. Because I get to see her when I get home, and that's not cool." Mm-hmm. And he never did it again. But yeah, I will always remember that. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop talking. This is impossible. But let's go back around.
Talk show, you stop talking.
Let's go back around to our youngest member who brought up the topic. I guess this kind of turned into we share our experiences. So hopefully you picked up something.
Hopefully our sharing of experience helps you.
Seriously. We've all...
I mean, the main reason that I even thought about this was because of something that happened on, I want to say Sunday, is the most recent event with it. And I know you know what's going on.
I'll be honest, man. You texted it all to me, but I didn't bother.
You never read it?
No,
yeah,
it's not my position. It's not my place.
That's completely fair.
The point is you cut cancer.
Exactly.
It's the hardest thing. It's hard. It's not the hardest thing to cut it. It's the hardest thing to recognize it. To recognize when all that's sitting in front of you or all that's happening it's just cancer. If you can't recognize it, you doom yourself to repeat it and or just live with it. And yeah.
The biggest thing is I didn't recognize it until 8 months down the line almost.
Was this a recent thing, King?
Wow.
Like semi-recent, because it started near the end of the first lockdown.
Oh, I see.
Because you see, I was bored, lonely, and on Tinder. I think that was pretty much around when I joined the show.
There. You can stop right there. all you needed to say is I was bored and on Tinder, and you decided to make a mistake.
Pretty much, yeah. And then for the next 8-ish months, I became an emotional punching bag.
As a bit of a segue, we have that episode coming out on the podcast in 3 weeks. The introduction to the Grease Goblin and his Tinder addiction. So shameless plug is shameless.
Yeah, be sure to check out in 3 weeks.
Shameless plug is shameless.
But yeah, no, actually someone who wanted to be on tonight but couldn't because of prior commitments was actually the one who helped me realize that this person was super cancerous and toxic.
That's great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all need someone. It does help.
It does. I'd been there for people like that as well.
One of the biggest conversations we had was, what has so-and-so actually brought to this friendship? And, like, how has so-and-so actually treated you?
Yeah, that's...
Like crap.
Look back at
exactly.
Look back at the things and see and think about it, yeah.
Well, let's wrap things up here. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Final thoughts. I feel like we should have a graphic that says final thoughts. We need graphics. Come on, Insanieac. What do you? Where are you supposed to get on this?
Graphics.
No,
Yeah, I thought you were making the graphics. You know, every week Insanieac tells us he got these insane graphics and music and audio stuffs, and
That's a lie.
So far,
That's a lie.
You know what?
Stop putting out things that don't exist yet.
But if I put it out there, the people will start pressuring you outside of us.
That just means you're gonna have people watching her be like, "Why isn't this thing done yet?" And
Insaniac. You know what?
Too bad. I don't know. If only so we could afford a program and things like that and time to actually do these things, that would be nice.
Can we just make it a thing where we blame Insaniac for our low quality of stuff?
You do that already. That's not a thing that's to make. It's not a new thing.
Can we just blame him for everything?
It's already a thing.
Like the fact that good host C4 uses more than one set of dice.
So
that's all.
Our final thoughts is
elusive.
When in doubt, you need to abuse somebody. Clearly, it's me.
Elusive gentleman who's here in the ether. He's in the chat. Says final thought: people suck. Stay away from Tinder. I concur. in this final thought about abuse, fuck Tinder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Quote me on that. Post it up.
Don't blame people for random things.
Well,
isn't that the goal of Tinder?
One big thing.
So blame and
all red flags.
Sorry.
Literally what I talked about in my story.
I love you too.
Mm-hmm.
That being said,
this is why I've been playing a video game in the background.
That being said, we were the villains of the Villains Talk Show. Thank you, Grease Goblin, for sharing. Thank you for Elusive Gentleman being in the chat. Thank you, the chat. Sorry you had nothing better to do. I'm glad you spent it with us here. Insaniac, say goodbye.
What? Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was playing my video game.
It's perfect. Catch him at insaniac.twitch.tv/insaniac.
Video games, doing the things I'm doing right now, not paying attention to the talk show.
Sarah will be on for one last week next week, and then she will be gone for the summer. So make sure you tune in to see Sarah. Sarah Vike, the biggest draw, the most popular member of the cast.
And be sure to check out our last episode Sunday, where we did the Wendy's one shot that Sarah hosted. It was amazing. It was ridiculous. It was fun. Check it out.
Otherwise, I'm C4, and yeah. Good job.
We love you all. Check out the socials. We appreciate you.
That's true.
Great.
Do we?
Yeah.
Some of us do. Not all of us do.
Everywhere you get the podcasts.
Check out our podcast stuff. All the plugs, all the things.
All the podcasts. We have a YouTube. It's
plug,
just search the Villains Talk Show. We've cornered the market on the Villains Talk Show.
All the self plugs. Do the things.
Just saying, it isn't going to help much, is it?
Sarah, everything helps.
Don't question science.
Is it science?
Since when do you believe in science?
Disagree.